Uh-oh. Something is a-missing. That's because I'm doing bike shock maintenance. As you can tell, outside of that, I have a Fox Float rear shock seal kit. I have a shock pump, which you'll need. All the stuff you'll need. And then a little bit of, this is Slickoleum, this is light grease. Then I have this very tiny pick for taking out the seals and, you know, obviously being very careful with taking those out. Goodies. I also have isopropyl alcohol and a paper towel. Isopropyl alcohol. So what you do is you take, this is obviously the top, so this is how it would be oriented on the bike. Take the top and bottom bolt, or actually you take the bottom bolt off first. Then this cap, this sleeve, you're gonna unscrew. You're gonna take the bottom bolt spacers out. That's why these are down here. And you're gonna slide this off. Then what I'm going to do is thoroughly clean this again once I get all the seals off. Replace all the seals, put some Fox Float fluid in there, and you know, get it back on the bike. So let's start with just getting the internals of this really clean. So to kind of control the amount, I just put a little pinhole in the tip of this and spray some on there. And essentially what this is going to do is, I'm saying essentially a lot, what this is going to do, this is going to degrease and get any of the extra grease off of there, extra dirt, any of that stuff. So, like I said, I'm going to do this once with everything still together. Take out all the seals. Do it again. Make sure it's nice and clean. But essentially oh God, I said it again. What I'm doing now is I'm getting any, you know, you see all this dirt that's coming out of these threads? I'm getting all this additional dirt, all this additional grease out of here, so that it doesn't make its way in between the actual seal itself and the where it's sitting, you know, the little cutouts in the actual air sleeve. So first off, I'm going to start with I'll call this the sleeve, and I'll call this the shock, just so you guys don't get confused. So right now, so I'll pretty much lay these out in order, just so there's no confusion. You know what? I'll start with the actual shock itself. So deep in here, there's actually a little seal back there. You just want to be really careful, really gentle with this pick. You know, you don't want to damage anything. Actually, it looks like it's old. That came out of the top. Then here, there are these two smaller seals that have a little split in them. I'm just going to lift this out very gently. You don't want to scratch anything. You know, even though this is a pick, the tip of it's not very sharp. So this comes right off. There's one. Find a little break right here. There's two. And the reason you don't want to scratch anything is you can actually damage the seal, because the air seal is so sensitive. You know, you don't want to create a leak. Come on. If you do create a leak, then pretty much you have to replace that seal. That's the entire point of it. All right, there it goes. Okay. So that right there is, I believe, all the seals off of the shock itself. So now what I'm going to do is just take this little bit of Fox fluid and place some make a bigger cut there. First, this, just gently stretch it over. Stretch that over. There should be one more. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of grease and I'm just going to go around this whole part just with a little light grease, just to make sure that that's nice and lubricated and that it slides and glides nice and easily. Now I have this last one. This one I'm just going to put Slickoleum on. You really just got to work it into the little cutout that's in there. Now, down here is a little dust wiper. And that looks like it's pretty damaged, so I'm happy I got this kit. And then we have a very similar mechanism to what we had on the top. Like I said before, these little plastic bushings in here, you know, since I'm replacing them, I'm not too worried about breaking them or putting little holes in them because they're going in the trash. But at the same time, you want to be very careful scratching the inside of your tube, because that can cause an air leak, and then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of having an air shock, doesn't it? There we go. So there's the old. Perfect. Now, we have this nice big thing of Fox fluid. Took a bit of finagling, but I finally got that in there. Alright, so the last piece is just the dust, I believe this dust wiper. That just kind of squeezes right on in there. A lot of this, it looks like it's like mashed in, but it's just, you gotta kind of wiggle it into place and then it should be ready. So now what I'm going to do is take this Fox fluid and pretty much just give put a good amount of this all around and even on the tube up here. So now we're going to take the air sleeve. So now, press down, press down, press down. Now the threads are met. I'm just going to rotate this. And here, very gently, just pinch the bolt holders on the bolt spacers on the end. And start twisting that in. So this isn't completely sealed, and a lot of it is because my hands are super greasy. So what I'm going to do, I have this old inner tube here. It's big enough to wrap all the way around. Or one of the, I think they're called like strap wrenches or something. I'm just going to get this on and just start. I'm just want to make sure this is nice and sealed up. It should be good just like that. You don't want to put it on too tight, because then you could actually cause damage. We're not done just yet. So let me bring it back over here. So this is for measuring sag. I'll go ahead and throw that bad boy on there. And then now that I have the grease out, I'm going to put some on these spacers. And the reason I'm doing that is there's going to be a lot of friction. Oops. There's going to be a lot of friction on these areas because the shock is rotating. Sorry, kind of over there. Because the shock is rotating. So I'm going to make sure these are nice and greased before I put them back. I'm going to bring you back over here where I will install the rear shock back. Alright, so this is going to take a bit of finesse, and the reason I say that is if you look right here, there's a tube that I put in between where my suspension and my frame will meet. The reason I did that is so that my suspension, you know, this lever isn't resting on the actual frame itself, which clearly this is not on, sorry, it's not on the floor. I got the chesty mount on, so it's kind of hard to do this. So I'm going to try to manage this the best I can. Bear with me. So I'm gonna take the front bolt, probably help if I had this apart. So I'll take this front bolt, place it through here, then put in my washer first, and then my actual I hope you guys enjoyed this, you know, this kind of walkthrough. This is one of my first times doing this, so, you know, I hope you enjoyed it. See you guys next time.